Hello and welcome to my Let's Play Civilization 5 tutorial for beginners. I am Ranma, and this time for real we're going to check out starting locations. I will in this video only talk about starting locations, how you should move, when you should move and why you should move. And when you may explore before you move in one more turn or something like that. We'll only talk about these kind of things in this video. If you want an enhanced tutorial with a deeper diving into the tech tree or gameplay a bit later, what to build, what when I have established my cities and stuff, or even the war tutorial, you need to go to the later videos on my playlist. So let's go in. We have a start location here, and not a very good start location from what I can see. I have a coast, so coastal trade routes is an option. I have silver, so good luxury. I have sheep and stone, which is nice, especially stone. It's food and production, that's what we want. We have some forests we may be able to chop, but I have no river, no lake, no oasis, no fresh water. You have a lot of desert over here. Whoops, I misclicked. God damn it. You have a lot of desert in here, which is garbage. So if I settle here, I cannot use all these tiles. Now I moved over here accidentally. Settling here would mean I would be able to build a Petra at least. Or I could try for a Petra, which is here. Problem with that, Petra gives +1 food and 1 production. With that, these tiles would be just as good as an empty forest or as a plains tile, which is still without luxury not that great. And there is a hill, but this is not a desert hill. And no luxuries, nothing. So these tiles would just be average by settling here and building a Petra. And actually, how should I build a Petra? I lack production and food in this spot. This spot is terrible. So I need to see more land. I need to move on this tile. Oh wow, the spot changed. The spot changed a lot. So settling on spot would be fine, I would say. I mean, this move was stupid, but on accident it only showed me that there is more flat desert and actually a fish. It did not show me anything more. So I wouldn't move down here with the warrior anyway. Move up here, see more luxuries and marble, more sheep. I would settle in spot. This is a usable spot by discovering 5 more resources. And up there is a river, so there would be 2 farms with fresh water. Still not the greatest spot, since I could not build any of the special buildings. No mountain, no river, no lake, no oasis. Not the most amazing spot, but still. 3 silver. Silver is a good resource. Marble gives wonder building bonus. Some sheep for production and 2 stone to work early on and then. So not a bad location. Some hills for production. The mines will give more production. Actually, this is a good spot. And coastal trade routes. I would go with that. So let's restart and look at other spots. What you would need to do then.
May the blessings of the gods be upon you, O great
But actually,
Alexander.
if up there were not 5 more resources, let's say there were no more resources, or just 1 more resource, I would say restart. Without these resources up there, it wouldn't be a good spot. What do we have in here? We have a lake. This is a lake. Wow, that's one of the biggest lakes I've ever seen. So I have fresh water. Could build a garden. I have wheat in here and citrus in here. I see a mountain over there, so I could get a mountain and fresh water. But it would take 1 movement, 2 movement, and then on the 3rd turn I could settle here. Now, where do I want to see? These forests block my vision a lot, and I cannot move on any of these tiles. in 1 round. So it would take me 2 rounds to actually see anything below here. I know there is jungle, but I think I will send my warrior to the north to see what is there. Also a lake and another lake. Wow, we have the land of the lakes in here. So I could also move in here with this guy and get fresh water and still have these 2 resources. But it would be the same amount. Moving 1 turn here, 2 turn here, settling on the 3rd turn. Here, 1 turn here, 2 turn here, settling on the 3rd turn. Let's move this guy. Could move here to see these 2 tiles, or move here to see more up here. I think I want to see these 2 tiles. Okay, this lake continues. We have bison and dice up here. I will not take the risk and bring him down here. I will move up here. Actually, what I could do here is save and go down anyway, just to scout and see what it is. This is something you can always do if you're not that experienced in the game. Why not? Go on. Be a bit cheaty and scout the land. We'll move this guy over here. Move in here. Next turn settle. Let's go on. Another turn. Move this guy. Oh, nice. A ruin over here and more dice up there. And another lake. Wow, this land would be amazing for the Aztecs since they get a bonus for lakes. Settle down. Oh, nice. And I got lucky. More citrus for me. Actually on jungle. This is a resource I would not chop. I would not chop the jungle to hook this up. I have citrus on forest here. I easily chop that, hook up the citrus for the happiness, and leave this. This is a tile on a jungle. 3 food, 1 gold. And as soon as I get the university, the tile will give me 2 science in addition, but only if I do leave jungle on it. This is definitely better than chopping it and not get 2 science. So in here, scout, research for pottery. I want the shrine since there is a pantheon that gives +1 food from citrus, wheat and bananas. And since I already have 3 of these resources, it'd be +3 food for my capital. That is good. So that's what I would try, and of course exploring. I need to know what is down here, because maybe I build a 2nd city on this lake. Would be an idea. Maybe there is another city spot over here. This is actually, ooh, nice, a warrior upgrade. This is actually a very interesting land. Could be a very interesting game in here. Actually, it's so interesting, I have to save it for me. So let's look at other spots. So it's really often it is just move your warrior to either the spot you think you want to settle, or to a spot where it reveals the most amount of tiles. Because you want to see as much as you can before you decide where to settle. In here, also very interesting. We have a river, that's good. We have a stone, that's good. We have truffles, it's okay, it's a luxury. And we have marble, marble is very good. My warrior cannot move here, but he can either move down here to cover up, to see what is behind the truffles, or he could move to the north to see what is in here. I actually am adjacent to a desert. This means I would be able to build the Petra. And in this case the Petra would be amazing. It would give me +1 food and 1 production on all these hills. So these hills would give me, without any improvement, 1 food and 3 production. That is actually even better than these truffles. And if I build a mine on them, it would be 1 food and 4 production. Or if there is somewhere fresh water, maybe an oasis behind it, I could build a farm. And as soon as I got civil service, farms with fresh water, which is oasis, would give +2 food instead of 1, so it would be 2 food and 3 production. No, it would be 3 food and 3 production. Amazing. That's, I mean, these 2 tiles would be nice to reveal, but I prefer to see up here. So move here, a cow over here, move here, another desert hill in here. Now it's arguable to move over to this hill to get more production. I don't know what is down here, but I think I would do that. I will move here, settle here, and then try to build Petra. Try to go, first I would go for Pottery to get the shrine and hope for the faith, for the pantheon that gives faith from desert tiles. If you don't get that, you could always take stone circles or happiness from river, or just build one early wonders faster with a more production. That would be some pantheon options. And after that, you may build in a quick library or just research your way up to currency to build the Petra early. On the way you may build hanging garden, depends a little bit if you actually with here get some horses on some of these tiles, maybe could be production. And also you may want to build a worker to actually hook up the marble and to chop the forests to build your wonders faster. You could also do something like this. Go for writing, then start to build the great library, and while building the great library go to the wheel, and as a free tech you will get mathematics. If your library is not finished as when you went to the wheel, you can research something like mining to be able to chop the forest, and then take the free mathematics. Stop. When you finish with the great library you get the free tech, take the free mathematics with that, start to research currency. While researching currency you build the hanging gardens and chop down a few forests with the warrior. That would speed up the production of the hanging gardens. So we would very fast have 3 very good and powerful wonders, which would make this an insanely good capital. So this is a good spot, I would go for it. And desert hills, many desert hills, and you being on desert or adjacent to desert opens you up the option for a Petra. It can be very powerful. Let's look at other starting locations. There may be an even better starting location, or just a complete garbage starting location.
You are the ruler of the mighty
I picked Alexander for that, since Alexander has no start bias, which means he can start anywhere on the map. You never know. You never know. So what do we have in here? Oh nice, okay, we have jungle, we have a river, and we have actually a mountain over here, so I could cross the river to this tile and get river and mountain capital, and still not lose any of these resources. Dice is not that great, but the stone is good, and dice is still happiness when you hook it up. Some forests to chop, that's nice. And actually you could also build a farm on here next to the lake. This seems good, but where to move with the warrior? You cannot move far, so I will not move here or here, especially not here, since the settler already covers up everything a warrior can. And I will also not move here, since moving here will only cover up this tile and this tile, since this tile blocks me vision, so I will not see much over there. But moving here or here could cover me up a lot of tiles in the north. And the settler most probably will move here. But first move the warrior, just in case there is flat land and I see a lot of luxuries in the third ring, which I would lose by moving. Let's move. I will move here. Bananas over here. And no, let's say, if there would be silver in here and silver in here, and let's say I would see even tiles here and there would be silver in here, let's say these 3 tiles would be silver, moving here would mean losing these tiles. Then I would need to think about if I want to lose these resources just for the ability to build an observatory. But in this case, move over here, build a city. Ooh, we have desert down here. But still, this is a good tile anyway, and it's not a reason for a Petra right now. But still, this is good enough land. I got bananas up here a bit far. I may need to buy these tiles, and also these, but it's still good enough. Long terms, this will be an amazing city. I have a lot of jungle. This means a lot of science with the university. I have a luxury. I have some stone. I have a river where I can build farms. I have a mountain for the observatory, bananas for growth. This city has a huge potential. And chopping down these forests and this forest over here, there is a forest, means more production to put into wonders. This can be a very strong city later on. Early on it will have a little bit of growth issues, but maybe I get a ruin with gold and I can buy out early this time. Or there are some good tiles down here. I don't know yet. Well, let's go for the next round and actually settle this city. Then I will see a bit more down here, most probably. Settle. Okay, no, I see there are more desert hills. Move here. Okay, so I don't know for now if this land is better or not. I mean, settling here would actually be an option. I would lose the bananas, but get the ability to build a Petra. Right now I see only 2 desert hills. For 2 desert hills it's not worth building a Petra. It's just not worth the effort and the risk. But if there would be more hills, why not? I mean, in such a situation you could anyway just save and scout a bit and then reload if you want. So let's see other starting locations. I did not have many coastal locations yet. I want to talk a bit about them.
May the blessings of the gods be upon you.
And maybe some bad tundra location. Once I started actually surrounded by snow and tundra. Snow in the capital. A lot of snow tiles. That is ridiculous. If you ever get that, restart, please. Okay, what do we have in here? I have a river. We look closely. I have a river here and a mountain. Is already not bad, even though I see just 1 luxury. I will move with this guy over here and then down here to see as many tiles as possible. The location down here looks more promising than this, but it would take a lot of time to move down there. Actually 1, 2, it would take more than 3 turns. That is a lot. Could maybe move faster this way, but I don't know if the river continues over here. He may just come from over here and then go down. So I will settle in place. Okay, got spices, and this is not the greatest start location, but it's still good enough. I have luxuries, I have a lot of jungle, I have a river, and I have a mountain. So everything I need for a good late game city I have. And I mean, I can expand down here with my first settler and make an amazing second city. Let's actually go to next turn for now. Actually with this I'm not even sure if I want an early pantheon. Maybe horses would be better. Yeah, let's see if I have horses. In this case, I do not go for the granary. I have no granary resources, so no wheat, no bananas, no deer. And I do not see right now a good option for a pantheon. I mean, culture from jungle tiles, but early on I will not necessarily work on so many culture from jungle tiles. And, well, the city cannot work on much good stuff. Move here and here. Population, nice, but actually spot down here is a lot better than my capital. In this case you have to consider restart and actually move the settler down here, I think it could be worth it. These 2 wheat on a river, on floodplains, and salt is amazing. I would not even recommend settling here. You could settle here where my warrior is. You would get a lot of food from these 4 tiles. Your city would grow, and you have the potential for a Petra. You have already 3 tiles that would get a benefit out of it. Let's go next turn and actually move on this hill to see more. Wow! In this case, I would either you go for an early settler, you know what? You could actually even do this. No, don't do this. I would say finish, finish the scout and then go for the settler, and as soon as you go for the settler, move this up here and build fast down here and try to go in your second city for a Petra. Actually, your second city will be better than your third and your capital in this case. Or just restart and just load the initial save and move with your settler down here. The game actually autosaves every time. If I go here to load game, I can go to autosaves and I will have my initial save. This means the game saves automatically the moment you start. The moment you load the map, the moment you start your game, it saves before you make any movement. That is very useful. So let's have a look at other locations. Still no coastal I had, but still there were many interesting locations. So you see, move the warrior, get some intel on the land, and decide move the settler or not, settle in place, settle somewhere else, move further or not, restart, reload, skip the map and try for another game because it's all garbage. No. Wow, this is good. I would move the warrior up here to be able to get the ruin next turn. That's the only spot I can. This would give me the most vision, but I want an early ruin. It's good, because this spot is already good. I have 2 wheat on a river, and gold, and actually a lot of tiles adjacent to a river. This means a lot of farms and a lot of forests to chop. And if I move here and settle, I have the city actually next to a mountain and the river. This is a very powerful start. You could, with these, you will grow. You could, in this case, you would go scout, take the city, lock this tile in, go for production, focus. As soon as it grows, you lock this tile in. In case of here, go for pottery then build a granary. While you build a granary and go for writing in the meantime, and then go for the great library. Your city will have, thanks to the granary, these tiles will be 3 food and 1 production. Your city will grow and you will have a lot of production to work on. And you can actually wonder spam with this starting location. This is an amazing starting location. Really, really good. I mean, just 2 luxuries. The dice is not that amazing, but still, this is good. You could do my standard tactic. Go writing, build shrine and granary before starting on the library, then build the library. While going for the library, you research calendar and mining, or calendar and animal husbandry, and as a free tech you will take philosophy. So you have 1 wonder, have the option for another good wonder, or maybe go for this wonder or Temple of Artemis after that, and you will have an amazing capital city. You stay on 1 city for quite a while with that strategy, but your city will be amazing. It depends also on the ruins you get and on the land you get. Let's see more than that. I'm still waiting for the
May
coastal
the
one.
blessings of the gods be upon you, O great King Alexander. You are the ruler of the mighty Greek nation. Your people lived for so many years in isolated city-states, legendary cities such as Athens, Sparta, Thebes, where they gave the world many great things such as...
Okay, here we have a coastal situation. My warrior is placed in a very bad spot. There is only 2 tiles he can move on, and the one is the settler. So I can only do this. But it tells me cow, 2 sheep, silk, 2 whales. Whales are good coastal resources. Why? They give 2 food and 1 gold. A fish gives just 2 food. So fish and whales give a lot of food. Also crabs will give food. The other side, pearls will not give that much food. They give 1 food and 2 gold, which is early on not that important. On the other hand, pearls at least have a pantheon for them. Anyway, this is an okay start location. Sadly, you have neither a mountain nor fresh water. But you can make coastal trade routes, you have a lot of jungle, you have some good tiles to work. I will settle in place. I mean, where would you want to move? In here? No, then you lose land tiles and do not get any other tiles that are good. On the resources, I don't think so. On the sheep would be an option actually, but you would lose out on the cattle. So, let's settle in spot. Nice, got actually some stone up here. So this is an okay location. We are coastal here. What would you do in case of research and production? Well, production first, the scout as usual. In here, lock one of these tiles down, go for production focus. Think about as soon as you got this tile, change this around. And you could, there is an argument to work on the sheep to get 2 production. I mean, it's 3 good things instead of 2. But the point is, your city will grow in 15 turns instead of 8 turns. That's a lot. And by going here, the scout will just be 2 turns faster. That's not a lot. So this is better. Go for the scout. And in case of research, you could go for animal husbandry. Is an argument. You got 3 animal resources. Maybe there are horses. I would recommend that. And you do not have the option for Great Wonder spam in here, because you really lack initial growth. And you do not have the river, so I think animal husbandry could be good. I mean, you can still try to get some wonders. Or maybe go for Temple of Artemis, but it's not as good as the others where you have wheat on plains or stuff like that. You do not have any granary resources. And then you could go for pottery and then sailing and optics. That would be an option. Optics gives you the lighthouse. Lighthouse gives you +1 food and production from sea resources. This means these whales give you 3 food, 1 production and 1 gold. And you can actually hook them up with the workboat, which gives also 1 more food from the whales. So that is actually nice. So these tiles, I mean, 4 food, 1 production, 1 gold, that's a good tile. It's really a good tile. So as soon as you got that tech, this building and workboats, these tiles will be strong. But you have to research up then. And you can scout for more land, and if you have spots that are useful on the coast, go for them, because you can send early on these cargo ships to your cities to feed them. If you have a granary in your city, you can send a cargo ship from that city with the granary to feed a lot of food to another city. Cargo ships if you send a cargo ship or a caravan, doesn't mean the city that is sending it will lose that amount of food. It's just additional free food for the target city. Later on, if you have workshops, they are in here, you also can send production. But usually you should, as long as you have happiness, you should send food and try to grow your capital. Again, this capital, even though it has no fresh water and no mountain, it can still become an amazing capital. It has good resources and a lot of jungle. So with a university, this city will make a lot of science. And maybe if you get lucky with ruins and maybe get a free tech or free population or something, you could you could leave these techs for now. You could make something like, you could go here, skip this upper stuff and try to go for the hanging gardens. Why? Gives 6 food, would be good since you do not have any initial good growth, so you would get that by that wonder, and it gives a free garden. You would not be able to build a garden in here because you do not have fresh water, but building the hanging gardens would mean you would get a free garden no matter what, which is nice. So this can become a great location, and is not a bad one. It is not the most powerful one though either. So let's see for other starting locations. If you're tired of this tutorial yet, and think you've got my point, then just skip it. Go to the next one. Go to the next video in the list.
So many years in isolated city-states, legendary cities such as Athens, Sparta, Thebes, where they gave the world many great things such as democracy, philosophy.
What do we have here? We have a river and 2 luxuries. First, in gems. I could move here, but the forest would block my vision up here. I could move on the hill, or I could move down on this hill. So either, my opinion is, move here and then decide if you want to move here or on the hill, or move here and then move on this hill, most probably. I think that's what I will do. Move here. Oh, bananas and more gems, and on this hill. Oh wow, this is now a very good example of what you can do and why you need to move your warrior first. This shows me now bananas in here, bananas in here, bananas in here. A city that can get all of them. Can build a granary which gives to all of these bananas +1 food, which would make them give 4 food, and later on with the university 2 science. So 4 food, 2 science, early on very powerful, especially the food is early on very powerful. But right now they are out of your reach, except from this one, and you do not want to leave the river. But if you move to this river type, to this grassland, you would still be on the river, and you would actually be able to reach, at least in the 3rd ring, all the bananas, still both of the gems. So this would be a good spot. It is also an argument to move to this hill. You would also get the 3 bananas you would lack out of this gem. So for now I would actually move to this. And I would lose some turns, but it's definitely better. I mean, I don't know what is up here. Again, I could scout first up here and then reload if there is garbage. Now I cannot get more intel since these are all hills and I would not see further than those. But I can move over here. More gems. Wow. In here is clearly superior to everything else. This is a strong place. And let's say up here is nothing. If up here really is no more resources, I mean there is the river continuum, which is nice, but if there is no mountain, no other resources, settling up here would be just bad. But here, what I got by moving is 2 more bananas and 2 more gems. That is amazing. There is a pantheon for bananas, and there is a pantheon for gems. And there is a pantheon for jungle. There are 3 pantheons that are very good for this kind of situation. So, build a scout, go for pottery to build an early shrine, lock this tile down, go on production focus, and actually go for next turn. This can be a very powerful start. I got a map, I got a close neighbor down here, I got chocolate down here, okay, and the river I could settle into his direction, for an amazing spot down here, but it may be a bit risky. And in here we got coast. So this guy will definitely not move further south. I don't see any ruins in here, and there is this guy, and there are all hills and stuff. This guy would have trouble to move. So move to the north. And look how lucky we got, another ruin. And move more, get the ruin. Got 60 gold, nice. Let's check what the city goes to. Goes for the bananas, but needs 13 turns. In 6 turns I would grow. Let's actually buy the bananas, it's worth it. Because now in 6 turns you can work this, or you work it right now, and you can work in 4 turns something good. We'll delay the scout by 1 turn though. Now you have to decide. 2 turns faster growth, or 1 turn faster scout. Since it's my first scout and it's only 2 turns growth, I will go for the scout in this case. If it would be the second, I wouldn't. Over here we have more coast, so maybe a city somewhere here. Now I think the land ends up here. Many people would now move here just to be sure that there is coast, or maybe see coastal resources. I do not recommend that. I mean, do that, but don't do it now, do it later. Because the chance that up here is a ruin is, I don't know, 1%? I mean, there could be a tile in here, but most probably there is not. So, try to find more land. And continue. You need to scout, you need to find ruins. You can scout this spot later on. Most probably it's not worth settling, since most probably it ends up here. If there are no good coastal resources, you do not want to settle here just for 2 resources. I mean, these 3 resources are actually already in range of will be in range of the capital. Move here and then here. Good that we moved. I don't see any resources up here yet. So our decision was good. Let's move here and actually move on this forest. Yeah, there is a wheat, maybe another city spot. And this guy actually will move through the jungle. Wow, a bard camp spawned here already. In here, go for another scout. 5 turns, 5 turns. It's nice, actually move that guy over. Saves me 1 turn of this. 7 turn scout though. Let's do something. We will do this for now. Now we will go in again. 6 turns for the scout. But here, 5 turns for the scout, still 1 turn to grow. That's good. Move this guy not here, because he would not be able to move further. So I will move here, so I have the option to move to this tile. And I see more gems. Nice. So a city over here would be nice. It would get gems and wheat and a river. Move here, and it has the potential for a Petra. I would still recommend this tile more for the capital. I mean, you were here. I could have moved over here, then maybe over across the river and settle somewhere here. But it would have been longer to move to here, to Addis in the desert, than over here. And this spot is early on stronger. And I can try a Petra city, my second city. Maybe I manage to do it if I get a settler early on. I mean, I could go in here for Liberty to get the settler with this, so I do not have to put production into Liberty, into building a settler. So you don't know. Still, this is good land. Move here, on here. Yes, definitely, in here is good. I mean, just 3 hills, 1 oasis is a good Petra, but not an amazing one. Let's move in here and actually down here. More bananas, more gems, maybe settle in here. Somewhere in here, depends where the river goes. It's a bit close to him, but he may not settle first into your direction. Oh, city grow. Go for this. 3 turns here, 3 turns here. Perfect timing. After that, build a shrine and then a granary. And decide if you want to go for... Yeah, why not writing? and build the one thereafter. But you want the granary to get food from these, and before that you want the shrine to be able to found an early pantheon. There is a pantheon that gives 2 faith from each gem, which is very good, and there is a pantheon that gives 1 food from bananas, citrus and wheat. You have 3 bananas already and the wheat over here, so that would be good either. Good too. And you could take the one culture from jungle tiles, and you have so much jungle in here. That would be amazing. And you would not chop down any of the jungle. Maybe these 2 jungles, I'm not sure, but definitely not the jungle on the bananas. And I would even say, don't chop the jungle on the gems. Chop it on one of the gems. You want the luxury to hook up for the happiness. But the other one, I mean, if you get faith from gems or jungle culture from jungle tiles, why chop it down? It would, let's say you get culture from jungle tiles, then this gem would get 2 food, 3 gold, 1 culture, and as soon as you have the university, 2 science. If you chop the jungle down, you would lose on 2 science and 1 culture. Culture and science are resources you do not get easily on tiles. And you would also lose the food and get instead production. Production is nice, but in cost of science, food and culture? No. The faith, on the other hand, you would still keep if you went for the pantheon for gems. It would give you 2 faith anyway for the tile, no matter if it's hooked up or not. But still, I would keep it just for the science. I mean, you have other hills. You have this hill, you can build a mine on this hill for a farm or a mine. Farms here, mine in here, and if you really need more production, you can chop one of the jungles. You can do it. But maybe you don't need to. It's a bit a matter of taste and a matter of how the game goes on. So, we'll check other. Oh, we'll check a few more starting locations. But this is a good starting location. It was really a good one. Well, after moving, settling a place would have been the worst. I mean, either go up to the desert, try for Petra, or go down for the bananas and gems.
Your people lived for so many years in isolated city-states.
I mean, we talk now here about single player against the AI. In multiplayer, it would be different, because in multiplayer, moving your settler is actually very risky. In here, we have 2 not that great resources, but we have 2 stone. That is good. My settler cannot really move far. This is a hill in the river. My warrior can only move 1 tile. I want to see what is to the south. Okay. In this case, I would just settle in place. I could move to this tile to get on the hill, but I would lose the stone directly adjacent, and sugar is not that great. I would get deer. Deer is good, but to lose this immediately the stone or 1 stone, could move in here, but I do not want desert. I don't know. Let's settle. Okay. This is an average spot for now. I don't know what is in here. Maybe I have some horses somewhere. It's not a bad spot. I mean, I got a river. I got a lot of forest to chop down. I got some hills. I can build farms along this river. I got 2 luxuries. And I got 2 stone to work early on. So, it's not a bad spot, but it's not an amazing either. And there is also not an option for mountain and river. And in this case, I would not leave this long river just for a derpy mountain that may not have any luxuries next to it. Yeah, you can deal with it, but it will be a bit more of a challenge than most of the other starting locations I showed you before. So, let's have a look at another one. Yeah? Civ just, the window just disappeared and it was like, what, did Civ crash? Okay, we have coast over here, but we're not at the coast. But we're at the river. We see no mountain in here, and no resources in here. I have 2 resources. I could move to the coast, by doing that add descent to a desert and not lose any resources. With what I see now, I would recommend move to the coast to settle there. But if that's a good idea, we can find out. We could either move with the warrior here to make sure if it's good, or move with the warrior here to see what's behind. So these 2 resources would be out of my range. I could move here and get these 2 resources. Could move here, get the coast, and get at least cotton. I recommend that. Do that. Okay, so we have this situation. It's okay. You have the possibility to build cargo ships. If I settle here, you can go for the Petra. You get the oasis for early growth. You have 3 different luxuries, which means a lot of happiness. 2 of them are calendar, 1 is mining. What does that mean? If you go for calendar, you can build the plantations, and if you go for mining, you can build the mine and chop the forests. So what you would do is most probably you would go for pottery, and then maybe you could do something like this. You could go here, 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 get us free tech this, and then go here. With the Great Library, we'll build a lot of science and get early on here, and most probably you will still not fail. On higher difficulty, this would be very risky. On higher difficulty, I would maybe recommend go for pottery, go for mining, go here, and then for calendar. It also depends on ruins. I mean, it can happen that you go here and then start going here, and then you get as free tech this or this, or while going here you get as free tech this. That can change your plans. That can say, okay, go for a great library. I mean, if you go here and then while researching this you get this as free tech, you can go for a great library. That would be good. It depends. But it's not bad. If you do not get the Petra, it's just average. You have a few good tiles, you have a river, you have a coast, not bad. These 3 tiles would be completely useless without a Petra, and these 2 would be amazing with a Petra, and without a Petra just okay. It's okay, and with a Petra it's amazing, because the oasis would be amazing, the sheep would be amazing, this hill would be amazing, here you could build a farm on a good tile, so not bad. Let's have a look at a few more.
May the blessings
We had
of the
now
gods
some
be upon
coasts.
you, O great King
Think
Alexander.
everything we
You are the
had
ruler
except
of
a
the mighty
complete
Greek nation.
garbage location
Your people lived
and
for
a
so many
tundra
years in
location.
isolated city-states. Legendary
These
cities
are the
such as
2
Athens,
things we
Sparta,
did not
Thebes,
have
where
it.
they
Well, we
gave the
also
world
did not
many
have
great
one of the
things
most
such as
amazing
democracy,
locations you
philosophy,
can.
tragedy.
This is good. This is good. Okay, it's not bad, not great. I mean, you have a river and the wheat. That is already good. You are at the coast, and you have 2 different kinds of luxuries. Sadly, one is on a 1-tile desert, but you have also deer. You have good early growth. This will be good early city. You have 2 sheep in range. Can build farms beside this lake. Not bad. And this warrior I will move on one of these hills. I will move it to this. Okay, more coast down here, some pearls, some wheat and deer. So we could build another city somewhere down here and actually feed with cargo ship each other. Settle in place since you want to stay at the coast. And yeah, that's not a bad spot. You got your luxuries, you got the river, you got early game resources like wheat and deer.
May the blessings of the gods be upon you, O great
go
King
for it.
Alexander. You are the ruler of the mighty Greek nation. Your people lived for so many years in isolated
yeah,
city-states,
no mountain.
legendary cities.
Yeah,
such
the
as
gold
Athens,
is on a desert
Sparta,
tile.
Thebes, Where they
No
gave the
coast,
world
even
many
though at the
great
coast no
things
sea
such as
resources, but
democracy,
still not bad.
philosophy, tragedy, art, and...
In here, the river ends down here, and there is a mountain next to the river, so we could settle here and not lose on any of these resources. That's why I would recommend move with the warrior here. If this wouldn't be a hill with a forest on it, I would say move here, but this actually blocks your vision, so you will not see this tile. But you would see this tile. You could move up. Nah, move here anyway. See this tile and this tile? Okay. Move here. Get to the mountain and river. And settle there. It's okay. It's not great. You have stone, sugar, wine. It's okay. You could play with that. I mean, you have the river and the mountain, which is very good. And yeah, that's it. You may have good other spots for other cities, so... But I would not settle down here, because you don't lose anything by moving up here. You get actually more sheep and a mountain. That is nice. So go for that. So
May
let's
the
make
blessings of the
only
gods
a
be upon you,
few,
O
maybe
great King
just one or
Alexander.
two.
You are the ruler
I
of
would
the
like
mighty
to
Greek
get some
nation.
tundra star
Your
to,
people
to,
lived for
to
so
show
many
you
years in
what to do
isolated
then.
city-states. Legendary cities
Usually
such as
tundra
Athens,
stars can be very
Sparta,
bad,
Thebes,
because
where they gave the
a
world many
tundra
great
is only
things
one
such as
food, and
democracy,
you do not want to
philosophy,
chop the
tragedy,
forest on the
art,
tundra,
and
because the tundra
architecture.
gives just one food, while the forest gives one food and one production. Oh, in here, you have now the decision. You want a coastal city without fresh water, or do you want a river? Move the warrior closer to the river. Move it here. Right now, in city range would be the gems, the cow, the wheat, the furs, and this sheep. You would be able to build a Petra, but not an amazing one. You do not have in range the silk, the cattle, the river. I mean, you have 3 river tiles you could use for farms, and the sheep. In this case, you would lose on the furs if you would settle here or here. So you could actually settle here. I would recommend, yeah. The warrior, where should it move? Move here. This is a difficult situation. Definitely don't settle here. I would not settle at the coast here. I mean, coastal trade routes are nice, but you do not know much about the land. You may not build any other coastal cities because there are no good spots at the coast. There are no coast resources. But there are a lot of resources down here, and actually a river. The question is just, do you want to settle here to get immediate cow? Actually lose out on the wheat. No, don't do that. You could settle here, but would lose out on the furs. You could settle here and you would lose out on the silk. Move here in this case. So you have the option to settle here or here next turn. Let's go for next turn. And actually move with the warrior. There is a mountain down there up too. Move with the warrior and move here. Oh, tundra down here. More sheep over here. If I settle here... Huh. Wow, this is difficult. I don't know. Here or here, both is very good. I really don't know. You would need to buy the cows early on. Here you would be closer to this cow. Get the silk, not the furs. I don't know. Both are very good. I would say settle here so we can build the next city next to a mountain and a river. You can already shoot at this bark camp. I would say do this, but definitely in a case of this, if you have a river, a long river with good resources there, and your coastal location is not that great, why not move away and go to the river? It just took me one turn. One turn movement, the next turn I only lost one turn from settling. That's not that much. And I got a fresh water location and a lot of cool resources. In this case, I would say move. In multiplayer, of course, it would be a complete other discussion, since there it would depend who else is in the play. And are they coastal or not? If you have a coastal city in multiplayer, it can be dangerous, because maybe others will rush you with ships. Then you may want to prefer an inland capital to make it safer. So, yeah, I think I'll leave it with this. I think I will end the tutorial here. If you have any questions about certain situations, or if you have started a game and you're not sure where to settle, why not make a screenshot and send it to me, or just ask me in the comments what you actually want to know, and I will answer. So in here, question river or mountain, I would say river. It's a long river, it's a good river. This guy could move. Let's move on this hill to see what is down here. It would be arguable to move up here to get the ability to build Petra, or you could just settle in here to get these 3 resources. It's an average spot. Not bad, not great. I mean, the risk going up here would be high. But again, you have the initial save. You could just do this and decide now if you want to reload and settle here, or you actually want to settle here. Here you have the chance for a Petra, get another silver, don't miss out on the wheat here, get more wheat. I can't tell right now what is better. I would need to explore more. Wait, there is water, there may be the coast. If there is the coast, I would say settle here and maybe build another city up here. So, that was it for this time. I hope you have now a lot more knowledge how to place your initial cities. This actually also counts for other cities. Only that you do not need to care so much about, ooh, I got my settler already. Because you will have the ability to scout with your scouts and your warriors the land before you actually build your settler. But still, all these things, river, mountain, resources, early growth, production, all these things matter to where to place the city. So I hope you have more knowledge about that, and wish you a lot of fun by playing Civilization. See you next time.